Hi, this is Jim with Funny Farm Fabrication. I'd like to go over a little bit on hardware cloth for your chicken coops and your chicken coop runs. I get my hardware off of Amazon. That's, to me, the best price. Plus it gets delivered directly to our house. I had been going to and buying it wholesale, but I was having to drive all the way to Houston, which is about a 3-hour drive. Now I get it for almost the same price, but it's delivered to the house. I'm going to have some links in the description to the different hardware cloths that we use. We build a variety of coops and runs, so we use 2-inch or 2 foot, 3 foot, and 6 foot hardware cloth. You can also get it in the 4 foot. This is the way we set up our hardware cloth. You can do this with just a couple sawhorses and a metal pipe. Run it through the middle, and it allows you to roll it out, keeps it out of the way, and keeps it secure. So I'm gonna be building a run today, so I'm gonna be using the 6 foot hardware cloth. So what I do is I measure it out, and then I'm going to cut it. And we use this Dewalt shear to cut it. I'm gonna make a whole nother video just on this. So this, we're gonna roll it out. And I want 86 inches. Take a tape measure. And we're going to bring it out to 86 inches, which is right about there. I always cut a little extra, and I'll show you why in a minute. But then we just hook up our shear. You do want to be careful when you cut this. These things, I promise you, will poke you when you're not paying attention. Even when you're paying attention, they'll poke you. All right, now we got our hardware cloth cut. I'm gonna bring it in. The way I build everything is in panels. So everything is an 8 foot panel. It's basically an 8 foot panel. This one's actually 89 inches. But I come in, I get it on my 4x8 table, come in, and set it up here, and just kind of get it halfway set where I think it's going to be good. And I unroll the rest of it. So from here, what I want to do is try and make sure that my top section, one side, I put 3 here and 2 here. So I got 3 going down this side and 2 going across the top. And then I clamp this side in place. I come down here and I make sure I still have the 3 coming down. Now, one thing that you don't want to make the mistake of is thinking that this hardware cloth is always square. Okay, I double checked the squareness on my form, and I know it's square. So sometimes when you're putting this on, you'll notice that when you get it set where it's now 2 over here, you see how I've got the bubble in there, and that's not what we want. So what I'm going to have to do is go ahead and clamp my 2. So now I've got the 2 all the way across the top. So what I need to do is release this side, and let's get this top straight first. So right there, we have a 2 rows across the top. So now we'll see where we're at on our hardware cloth. So see here, now the hardware cloth has gone from 3 at the top to 2 at the bottom. But I know my frame is square, so the hardware cloth is not square. And that's all right. So you clamp that down. So I have it clamped on 3 sides, so it should stay square. The way I attach the hardware cloth to the frame is with 1-inch pneumatic staples. And what I have learned is, number one, that the hardware cloth is not always square. Number two, that if you start from one side and go either direction, you're going to wind up with a bubble in it. So what I have found is if you start in the middle and work your way out, then that kind of feeds out the bubble and it makes it a lot nicer. So I'm going to get my pneumatic stapler here, and I've got 1-inch staples in it, and I've got a little stool to help me reach. And I just get out here and I start at the and I work my way out. And I go both directions to start with. Now some people don't think these staples do the job. I use a lot of staples, and basically the way I figure if there's enough or not is when I'm done, if I think, well, if I made a mistake, I'm just going to throw this piece away, then I probably used enough staples. I use thousands of staples in each coop. And what you want to do with your pneumatic stapler, as you're working from the side, is just try and get the staples where they fit right on the cross piece, where the 2 pieces of wire connect. And you want to make sure that you don't have your fingers too close, because occasionally one of these staples will pop back out of the wood, and when it does that, I promise you are not fast enough to move your finger, and it will go down to the bone. Okay, come here. Now that we're getting up here close, we'll just take a couple more pictures. But you see how I'm working out? So like right there is, it's going in kind of at the junction, so that it's helping. So you see how it's kind of pushing this hardware cloth toward the end. Go a little ways, and then I usually put a double row of staples. And basically that's what I'm going to be doing through the rest of this. I'm going to be working from the middle out. Once I get this side done, then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to take my tool again and I'm going to come up through here and I'm going to start probably about the, well, that won't leave enough for the 2x4. Yeah, I'll come down here at about 3 and just cut my way up. If it starts getting what you think is too close and you want an extra, you just move it over. All right, and I'll show you some more of this when I get it completed. You'll see what the finished products look like. Alright, so now I've got it where it's coming down through here. I've done all of this, but I wanted to show how I get the edges where they need to be. So I start trying to pull it a little bit while I'm stapling it. But keep your hands away from the staples, because they will come out on you. Do at least a double row. Come all start, I still have a little bit here, so I'm gonna start over on this side now, coming down through here. Continue to pull a little bit with your fingers back here. Help keep it. Just ran out of staples. Let me grab it. So I also have found that the best place to buy my staples is also on Amazon. If you're doing this very much, they seem to have the best price that I've found so far on them. But like I go through thousands of staples a day, so I buy in bulk. Here, because I worked it from both sides, there's no bubble down here to try and fight and get back through. I've had a couple of these on this project that went through and came out the side, so that maybe you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. So there's one of the staples that came out the side. If your finger is down there near that, it will go through your meat and down to the bone before you can move your finger. I know this from experience. And typically what it is, I think, is the wood density changes in particular spots. So when you have one that hits, there's usually multiple in that same area. So like this one right here, there's a couple right in this area. So now what I'm going to do is go through and I'm going to, all these areas where it's got the staple sticking up, I'm going to go through and pound those down to make sure they're not sticking up so that you don't cut yourself later. Basically go around and just pound everything. If you're having trouble with the staples going all the way through the hardware cloth, it's because your setting is too high on your air compressor. And you can change that. On most of them, they've got a regulator right here, and you just adjust it. I try and keep mine, the tool pressure, right at 100 when I'm doing the stapling. All right, if you like the video, if it's helpful, please like and subscribe. I'm going to try and work on getting a little better with my videoing. I'm learning all this stuff. I'm going to try and put out a series where I build some of the coops that I'm selling the plans for and do a video on each one so that you can see the full build and how to do it. So if you'd like to see those, let me know. If you can see anything that you think I need to change, let me know. I appreciate it. Thank you much. Bye.